When we find the attributes of this equation, notice what comes first here. The x comes first. So for our hyperbola, what comes first matters. So because x comes first, we know that we're dealing with a horizontal hyperbola. Well, what about the center? Well, remember that we're going to use the numbers next to the x and the y to get the center. So in this case, our center is going to be at -3 and +1. So let's get our a value. Remember, a squared is that first number in our hyperbola equation. So our a squared here is 256. And if we take the square root, the square root of 256 is 16. So we need to use that now to find the vertex. So remember that we're dealing with a horizontal hyperbola. So horizontal means that the x is going to change. So when we find the vertex, we're only changing the x part of the center. So we're going to do -3 plus 16 as one version of it, comma 1. And then the second vertex is going to be -3 minus 16, comma 1. When we do all the algebra for it, when we do basically the arithmetic, we're going to end up with two numbers or two values, 13, comma 1 and -19, comma 1. So let's go ahead now and find our focus. So remember that for our hyperbola, the focus equation is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And if we substitute everything, we don't know c squared. A squared is that first denominator, that's 256. So we're going to put for a squared 256. And b squared is the second denominator. It's always the second denominator for a hyperbola equation. So we're going to put 144. So when we add everything, c squared is equal to 400. And if we take a square root, then c is equal to 20. And because we're dealing with a horizontal hyperbola, so again, we're dealing with a horizontal hyperbola, that means that the x value of the center is going to change. So we're going to use that same c value that we got to change it. So we're going to say -3 plus our c value, which was 20, comma 1. And then we're going to say -3 minus 20 to get our other focus, comma 1. And if we work everything out, we're going to end up with the point 17, 1, and also the point -23, 1. And so that would give us our two foci.